Hey everyone out there watching, it's JT from Keystone Crew Outdoors. Welcome back to Keystone Crew's Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing Pick Show. As always, thank you for tuning in and your continued support of the channel. We're here to give you our advice on who to pick for your Rapala Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing lineups, your Falcon Rods Bassmaster Drain the Lake Challenge lineups, and your TH Marine Bassmaster Pick'em Challenge for Lake Fork in Yantis, Texas from May 8th through the 11th, 2025. It's a mouthful, geez. We'll also take a look at how our picks fared at the last event at Lake Hartwell and check in on our leaderboards. Chances are, if you're watching this, you're already playing fantasy fishing, are part of our group, and are hopefully a subscriber. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I'd appreciate it if you did, especially if you like the content or use the advice that we give on here in our event pick videos. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for tuning in and your continued support of the channel and coming back for our advice. We had a great event at Lake Hartwell with the picks, so hopefully you followed our advice. Also, I have a special shout out this week to some of our new subscribers. As some of you guys might know from past videos and stuff, I'm a 6th grade teacher. My Group 2 math class caught me researching some of the anglers for Lake Fork during some downtime that we had when they were taking a test. And now I've discovered the channel. So shout out to my 6th grade Group 2 math class at Western Wayne Middle School. I'm sure they think this is all boring because none of them play fantasy fishing. But hey, shout out to you guys. If you stumbled on our channel and want to check out what fantasy fishing is all about, head on over to bassmasterfantasy.com and sign up. It's completely free, and you'll be eligible for prizes from Bassmaster and their sponsors for each tournament. After signing up, search in the Groups tab for Keystone Crew and join our group. By signing up for our group, you'll be eligible for our prizes if you live in the lower 48 states. Sorry to our players outside the U.S., but the shipping cost for prizes is just outrageous. To keep things fair, but still grow the channel, I did put a password on the group, though. The password is crew25, all lowercase letters. Probably going to end up closing the group soon, though. Remember, you can also watch these events every Saturday and Sunday on Fox Sports 1. I believe you can even watch certain parts of the events on the Roku channel as well. Before we jump into the picks, though, I want to go into how our picks did at Lake Hartwell at this past event and look at our leaderboards. If you had a perfect roster, this is what it looked like. You had Jay Shakurat finishing 5th, Paul Marks winning the tournament, Jacob Porosnik in 10th, Easton Fothergill 7th, Randy Howell 6th, and the winning weight for the event was 68 pounds, 8 ounces. Our Bucket A power rankings finished like this. Our top-ranked angler was Jay Shakurat. He finished 5th, followed by Trey McKinney in 11th, Jake Whitaker 102nd, Tyler Williams 81st, and Will Davis Jr. 35th. Our top 2 guys did very well here, so hopefully you picked one of them. In Bucket B, our power rankings finished like this. We had Patrick Walters 21st, Paul Marks 1st, Tucker Smith 2nd, Jason Christie 85th, and Taco Ito 16th. All pretty respectable here, except for Christie with that 85th place finish. In Bucket C, we had Emil Wagner finish 9th, Jordan Lee 19th, Stetson Blaylock 70th, Jacob Porosnik 10th, and Dakota Ebare 61st. In Bucket D, our top-ranked angler was Easton Fothergill. He finished 7th. Brandon Cobb 64th, Cody Huff 76th, Cooper Gallant 46th, and Jonathan Kelly 66th. And finally, in Bucket E, we had Wesley Gore finish 8th, Matt Airy 33rd, Jeff Gustafson 55th, Jason Williamson 97th, and Chris Zaldain 89th. If you went with all the top-ranked anglers from our research picks, you had a pretty good tournament with 4 out of the 5 picked anglers finishing in the top 10 and 1 finishing 21st. Would have liked to have the winner, but I could settle for 4 top 10ers. Here's how our Drain the Lake finished up. For the second event in a row, we did manage to pick the winner with Paul Marks finishing 1st. We had Easton Fothergill and Emil Wagner finish in the top 10, and Walters and LaHue finishing in the 20s, with that 21st and 22nd. The rest of our guys were kind of middle of the field. Our TH Marine Pick'em finished like this. Pretty hard to pick some of these. I thought it would be a lot easier. Our meter is now sitting at 56%. And here's a look at our overall leaderboard for Rapala Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing. Through 4 weeks, we've got Unrow 1, 3, 4, 5. C. Unrow in first. T-Man 1992. T. Lindstrom in second. 3 Big Bucks. J. Glisson in third. Clayton Terry. C. Terry in fourth. And rounding out the top 5, Ryan Moriel in fifth. If you use the top-ranked anglers in the Keystone Crew Power Rankings, you're sitting with an 83.2% meter and trending upward. It's about time that we did well here and had a good tournament to bring us back into the 80s. Hopefully we creep back up into the high 80s, low 90s with this next tournament. Our top-ranked player in the Keystone Crew Fantasy Fishing Group for the 5th event at Lake Hartwell was Hella Bass, Rich Lindgren, with a score of 1,389 for the event. I'm sure if you're watching my channel, you probably know who Rich Lindgren is at Hella Bass, and you know all about his channel. If you don't, you really should check out his channel. He also gives advice, usually a lot better than mine, on who to pick for these events. Rich was nice enough to gift the prize for this week from Hella Bass to our second place finisher, WKG 2013 W. Geach. Rich is a stand-up guy, and you should really check out his channel if you haven't already. So congratulations, William. You won our 5th prize, courtesy of Hella Bass, a Spro Hunter 65 square bill. We've already been in touch, and your prize is in the mail. And through 5 weeks for Falcon Rods Drain the Lake Challenge. Here's what our overall leaderboard looks like. We've got LA Rams Fishing Team, B. Johnson in first. CJ's dad, C. Edney in second. Saluki Hawk, 12, B. Hawk in third. Kid Iraq, R. France in fourth. And rounding out the top 5, Scopin' and Dopin', S. Tarpley in fifth. If you've used the Keystone Crew Drain the Lake picks, you're sitting with a 99.4% meter, which is good for 163rd out of everybody playing in the world. We're doing much, much better in Drain the Lake Challenge than in fantasy fishing. I'm a little worried, though, that when you're over 99%, there's not much room to improve. I'm hoping we can maintain where we're at and not drop too much. Our top-ranked player in the Keystone Crew Drain the Lake Challenge group for the 5th event at Lake Hartwell was Sticker B. Crane, with a score of 2,446. Congratulations, you won our 5th prize of the season for Drain the Lake Challenge, a Spro Hunter 65 square bill. Make sure to check your email so we could get that out to you. To see what prizes are up for grabs in our group, you can check out our kickoff video showing you what you could possibly win from us. I've got lures by Spro, X-Zone, Rapala, Strike King, and Berkeley. Most of the housekeeping stuff is out of the way, so now let's change gears to our next event, the 6th event of the season, 5th for the elites, Lake Fork, and see what we're playing for this week. Let's see what Katie picked out for this week's prizes. All right, let's see what we got here in our Miles Appliance prize bag for this week for Lake Fork. Katie's going to pick it in, now hopefully not get hooked in there. The prize bag is getting a little easier. We got some X-Zone Stealth Finesse Series 2.75 Stealth Minnows that you guys are playing for. So one of these could be yours. This week we're playing for a pack of X-Zone Stealth Finesse Series Stealth Minnows. So we got these right here. Gonna crush some smallmouth with those, some finesse fishing. Now that we know what we're playing for this event, let's jump into the 5th stop for the Elite Season, 6th stop for fantasy fishing. From May 8th through the 11th, from Yantis, Texas, Lake Fork. Lake Fork is a reservoir located in Wood, Rains, and Hopkins counties in Texas between the towns of Quitman, Alba, Emory, and Yantis. It's a tributary of the Sabine River. Lake Fork covers a surface area of 27,264 acres, or an area of 43.27 miles, and has a shoreline of 315 miles. The max depth is 70 feet. Officially, it serves as a reservoir for Dallas and its suburbs, but it's best known for its fishing. 15 of the top 20 Texas state largemouth records ever caught came from Lake Fork, making it a premier trophy bass fishing lake. Most common species of fish are largemouth bass, white bass, and channel catfish. The last 3 stops here were in 2021, where Lee Livesay won with 112 pounds 5 ounces. 2022, where Lee Livesay won again with 113 pounds 11 ounces. And in 2024, where we all thought Lee would three-peat, but he had a terrible, terrible event. And Trey McKinney actually won with an absurd amount of weight, 130 pounds 15 ounces. It's unlikely that they'll hit 130 pounds in this event since it's in May. But you never know. People travel here from all over the world to catch their personal best. Expect multiple double-digit catches for this tournament. I read that in May alone last year, the Toyota Share Lunker program recorded 30 entries from Lake Fork. So that's a lot in a month there. Onto our research picks. The real reason you guys probably are all watching this, probably get on it with it, Morrow. Here's my research picks. They're based on different articles I read from the Bassmaster pundits, videos that I watch, Bass Magazine, all that. So in bucket A, we've got Lee Livesay with 47.9%, followed by Patrick Walters, 7.1%. Jay Shakurit does great everywhere, 6.4%. Trey McKinney, another one, does great everywhere, 25.7%. And rounding it out, not getting enough love here, Seth Fighter with 0.8% owned. The crew's pick, though, for this season, because I'm picking the top-ranked angler this year for everyone, is Lee Livesay with that 47.9%. In bucket B, we've got Brandon Palaniuk, 21.5% owned, followed by Drew Benton, 2.7% owned, Kyle Patrick, 3.6% owned, Kyle Welcher, 7.1% owned, and Jacob Fouts with that 1.9% owned. The crew's pick, though, is Brandon Palaniuk with that 21.5% owned. In bucket C, you can't pick against them. We've got Easton Fothergill, 46.1%. He's been red hot. Followed by Tyler Williams, 11.5% owned. Keith Combs, 13.2% owned. Tyler Rivette, 5.7% owned. And Cooper Gallant, 1.5% owned. The crew's pick, though, is Easton Fothergill with that 46.1% owned. In bucket D, I was torn here. I was going to go with Brandon Cobb first, but I flip-flopped Brandon Cobb and Ben Milliken. So I'm going Ben Milliken with 43.6% owned, followed by Brandon Cobb with 4.9% owned. Then we have Dakota Ebare, 22.7% owned. And my guy right here, Matty Wong, 1.9% owned. And Stetson Blaylock with that 13.6% owned. The crew's pick, though, like I said, is going to be Ben Milliken with 43.6% owned. In bucket E, another toss-up group here, but I found it very hard to go against Chris Zaldain with that 45.2% owned. I expect him to have a good tournament throwing the big swim baits around. I was tempted, though, to pick Caleb Summerall, 8.9% owned. You guys all know I like following the Express Boats team. Then I got Jeff Gustafson, 3.9%. Greg Hackney, 14.6%. And Chad Pipkins with 1.0% owned. Crew's pick, though, Chris Zaldain with 45.2% owned. For a tie-breaking weight, we're going with 117 pounds and 4 ounces for this one. It might be low. I don't even know what to expect anymore with these weights. You think they're going to be high, they come in low, and you think that they're going to be high, and they come in super high. So I don't think they're going to hit that 130, but 117 I think is attainable. Just a quick recap here. My picks are Bucket A, Lee Livesay, Bucket B, Brandon Palaniuk, Bucket C, Easton Fothergill, Bucket D, Ben Milliken, and Bucket E, Chris Zaldain. On to Falcon Rods, Drain the Lake Challenge. That's our other main fantasy game. It's an elimination style game where you can only choose an angler once all season. Once you use them, they're gone for the season. I just realized today that I meant to save Lee Livesay, and I didn't do it for Lake Fork. So I'm hoping that it doesn't come back to bite me. Obviously, I hope he wins. He's our Bucket A guy, but I can't believe I didn't save him for Lake Fork. So we're going with Keith Combs, Dakota Ebare, Kyoya Fujita, Ray Hanselman, Trey McKinney, Brandon Palaniuk, Tyler Rivette, and Matty Wong. And our last fantasy game, TH Marine Bassmaster Pick'em. We're not doing prizes for this one. It's just kind of for fun. But I thought that I'd be doing much better with my picks, and I'm rocking like 56% here. In matchup 1, we have the top 2 in Angler of the Year, Jay Shakurat versus Will Davis Jr. Jay Shakurat. You guys know I love Jay. Matchup 2, former Fork champs, Trey McKinney versus Lee Livesay. I'm going with Lee Livesay here. Matchup 3, Texas Pick'em, Dakota Ebare versus Keith Combs. I'm going Keith Combs. Matchup 4, Big Bait Specialist, Ben Milliken versus Matt Robinson. I'm going with Ben Milliken. Matchup 5, Momentum matchup, Easton Fothergill versus Luke Palmer. You can't go against Easton Fothergill. Matchup 6, I-30 Showdown. We got Stetson Blaylock versus Joey Cifuentes III. I'm going Stetson Blaylock here. Matchup 7, Texas versus Oklahoma. You got Chris Zaldain versus Jason Christie. I'm going with the Zaldangerous Chris Zaldain. That'll wrap it up for our 6th stop of the fantasy season, Lake Fork. Remember, you guys are playing for some X-Zone Stealth Minnows. Good luck to all you guys out there. I'll leave you guys with the Angler's career stats from before the 2024, or I should say, before the 2025 season. As always, I'll catch you next time.